Hello Goblins, it's Chris, Eldritch Pipes. It's an episode of this week's Pipes. I'm smoking Peter Heinrich's Strong Dark Flake. It's been a hot minute since I had a bowl of this. But it's as good as I remember from the last time I smoked. Today, before I show you the pipes, one of which is available, I thought I'd riff about comedy. Why? I was watching a documentary this week. Steve, in brackets, Martin. He's a comedian, comedic actor that I've liked since my teens. The first film that I saw was The Man with Two Brains, which is just an amazing film. But then after that, nothing for a while. Parenthood was pretty amusing. I'm trying to think of like the big films that he did. I remember sort of nothing really hitting for me for quite a time. And then he did a film called The Big Year. It's a very different role, very sort of quiet, understated, very sort of heartwarming kind of role. And then finally they came back with Only Murders in the Building, which is genius. Oh yeah, of course there was The Three Amigos. It was a great film as well. But the documentary first covered the first half of his career, his sort of stand-up career, which I think ended in the mid-70s, which makes sense why I never knew about it, because I was born in 73. So by the time, I was watching stuff, he'd left all that behind. But he was freaking huge. He looked like he was filling out stadiums with his comedy routine. And what really struck me about his comedy routine was how crap it was. It really was not funny. But then, of course, he's commenting over the top of it, sort of trying to explain where he's coming from. And it sounded like it was really more of a comedy show, making fun of comedy shows. It was a bit meta. And I could sort of see it. And there were a couple of funny bits, but mostly it was kind of cringe. I have no idea how he got as big as he did. But I'm glad he did. Because some of the bits that he has done in film and TV have been some of the funniest bits I've ever seen. The final episode of the first season of Only Murders in the Building, he's been drugged by the murderer. I won't give it away. And he's just, he's trying to tell his colleagues what's going on, but he's all drugged up. It's absolutely... It floored me the first time I watched it. Just floored me. And then later on, I think season 2, he plays a character in another... Because he's an actor in the show. And he plays a character that's got dementia, and it's very wrong. It's very funny. And I think there's a lot of whimsy in his performance, which I suppose is what I key into. The shows that I just used to find hilarious and just watch non-stop were, I mean, Blackadder is like the show. But there was Black Books, which is just amazing. Father Ted is pretty good. The It Crowd is amazing. So a lot of Graham Linehan shows, actually. Some Monty Python. I find Monty Python very hit and miss. Some bits are amazing. Some bits are like, I don't know what you're doing. It's very just surreal. And I don't find surreal for the sake of surreal amusing on its own. So maybe it's not wrong, I don't think, to say there might be some crossover between Steve Martin and Monty Python. There's that sort of just being silly aspect, which is fine. For me, like the duo that I have come back to throughout my whole life is Laurel and Hardy. And I suppose they were essentially quite silly. It was very innocent sort of silliness. But with Laurel and Hardy, there were a lot of very intricate gags, intricate physical gags. It wasn't humour. It wasn't a linguistic humour. Although sometimes they could do that as well. But I remember I used to watch them as a kid, just for the silliness. You know, just the straight up silliness. I really loved it when they played the children of their own, of themselves. So, you know, they would be there as the parents and also they would be playing the kids. That was really fun. But I remember as an older teen, like 18, 19, actually the sketch, it wasn't a sketch, it was a film, but the bit that really sort of got my second wave of Laurel and Hardy, it wasn't even a Laurel and Hardy film, just a film that they featured in. It was quite an old one, a black and white, called The Devil's Brother. Or the version I saw, Diablos, had a Spanish title, or Mexican. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, there's a scene in it where they were just in a pub, just getting more and more plastered. I forget why they were drinking so much, but they were just knocking them back. And then Stan starts giggling, and he sets Ollie off. That sets Stan off even more, and they're just, you know, and they're, at the end they're just puddles on the floor, and you are too. It's just hysterical. Stan and Laurel. Stan and Laurel. Laurel and Hardy. I've always done that. Stan and Laurel. Oliver and Hardy. I don't know why. Anyway. Humour. Funny thing. Obviously I was just thinking actually, like Steve Martin, because he's a very quiet character himself. I suppose in some ways not unlike Rowan Atkinson. Rowan Atkinson's a very quiet, personal person. You know, you don't get to see behind the character. I kind of like that. I respect that. Oh, that reminds me, like, talking about, like, crap live shows but somehow doing well in film. Jim Carrey. Have you ever seen any Jim Carrey stand-up? It's bloody awful. It's like, how the hell did you get known from this? It's just really bad stand-up. Or just dreadful. But then, of course, you had The Mask, and you had Ace Ventura, and... oh, Liar Liar. That was brilliant as well. Right, enough of that. Some pipes. The first one is available. Some interesting numbers this week, including this one. A corrupted fig. This idea came to me at the beginning of the week. I wanted to do some things that I hadn't done before. And I knew that they were both going to be rusticated, this one and the next one. But I really wanted to, like, eat really deeply into a shape. And so that required a shape that was quite juicy. That's not the right word. Voluminous. No. Chunky. Quite fat. And so I've done a fig before. It's this kind of slightly forward canted with a lip kind of shape. So it like came out here and like came out here. And I thought, like, if I remove this space, you can sort of still see the line that it took, you know. Kind of like negative space, man. I'm going to put this down. Yeah, so I really wanted to eat quite heavily into it, which you can see I did. I had this piece of pastel green that I'd mixed for a customer a little while ago. Did it on a sleek Dublin, sleek bulldog. And I thought, that's what I want for this one. So I did him with a green sandblast, contrast blast, and then just ate into the shape quite viciously. So you can see like the ring grain of the sandblast. I toyed with the idea of rusticating all over, but I thought, no, I want a mixed finish, I think, for this. I didn't want a rusticated finish to detract from the rusticated corruption. So, sandblast finish. Next time, if I can do it against a smooth, I might do that. Maybe. So it takes some weight out of the shape as well, which is kind of nice. And also, it starts at a thin end here and then works out to a large cavity on this side, which I really liked. So, a corrupted fig. Quite a unique looking piece. Really pleased. But I really do like these kind of like step down saddle stems. I still don't. I suppose they are a saddle stem. Yeah, they're a saddle stem. Maybe I'm getting confused with that with the like the domed end. Actually, I wonder what it would have looked like with a dome. Maybe a bit blobby. No, I like the defined line. It shows more intent, I think. Anyway, so this guy is available. If you're interested, send me an email. It's a cool little piece. Next piece is one I haven't done before either. Or at least, yeah. Rusticated Dublin. I really like the patterned rustication on this fellow. I guess I'm still toying with different styles of rustication, in the sense that you can do like this, where it's the intent is pretty clear. You can see the design in the rustication, versus just being very as random as possible. You know, sea rock style or something like that. But I kind of like seeing the design come out. There's some plateau on top. Gave quite as you can see, quite a defined chin, quite a pointed chin. I think I'm trying to create at the moment like some more defined lines in shapes. This one sort of like comes out and then just tapers in from about this point in the ring. Just starts to taper in there. Again, just to give the shape a bit more definition. Some more intent. I matched that with some moss. I was going to say moss Cumberland. It's not Cumberland. It's just straight moss resin. Moss green resin. Which is I always say this when I show this colour on the camera, but it's like, I realise it's showing up as like almost neon electric green. It's not as intense as that in real life. But it's a very nice green. And I just wanted that like single colour, like stark contrast, black rustication, vibrant stem. It's like a good combination. There you go. And I call it a Dublin really because it just narrows to the bottom. Like the amount of shapes I've done that you wind up calling Dublin that bear almost no resemblance to each other. Any bowl that tapers, I just wind up calling it Dublin. Unless it's an acorn or a strawberry. Or any other kind of bowl that tapers that isn't a Dublin. And last one. I haven't decided if this one's for sale or not. If anyone really wants it, let me know. But it is This week's strawberry. Cordovan strawberry with earth and ivory stem. This one's pretty neat. It's funny how they come out different each time, and each one has something neat about it. I feel like I've been losing my voice all day. I feel like I woke up starting to lose my voice. I don't know why. But anyway, it feels like my voice is really tired. It's not like I've been yapping away. Anyway. The ring grain is nice and is prominent. And some straight grain going across the shank. I'll get to the cool bit in a moment. Although, really nice piece of earth and ivory. Nice piece. But, so, okay. When you place the shape on a block of briar, certainly with the strawberries, I like to move the shape into the plateau a bit. But you never know exactly how it's going to come out, or exactly what the topology of the plateau is going to do. And on this one, it's sort of, so like no plateau on the back, but then this just really nice, quite, even though there's not a lot of plateau, it's quite craggy. Some plateau made it onto this side as well. You can see it's really quite a craggy piece of plateau. You kind of wonder how you're going to... I do spend a little while playing with the placement, just working out, because you've got to try and visualize. It's not that easy. You get better with practice, but when you're trying to visualize exactly how the plateau will intersect with the shape, and okay, I guess you get a few happy accidents, but it's always just an interesting part of the design, and that everything else is kind of set. So seeing how that affects the shape is just always fascinating to me. One of the little joys of pipe making. All right. That's that. All right, I think that's it. I think I'm done. Yeah. Last week, really quite warm. This week, gotten cold again. I'm not sure what next week holds, except for more pipes. I'm pretty sure of that. Oh, I finally got some more briar. The last order of briar I did went all around the houses. Came over from Italy to me, and like made it to the Midlands as far as I can make out. And then it did an about turn and went back to Italy for a bit. I guess it missed home. Got a bit homesick before coming back to me again, finally. But I'm looking forward to facing those off and seeing what kind of grain I've got. And then maybe I'll do a video about grain and the kind of things you have to think about when looking at grain on briar. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening to me prattle on. I'll see you, I should think, next week. Till then, take it very easy. Your loyal pipe maker.